Zeidoktor here, and this episode of Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to My Hero Academia, Chapter 137, Head Them Off. And we start off with just a little narration from Deku. It's like, until areas of whereabouts can be determined, we are on standby. We see like them in training, like doing some rock climbing and such. Jiro's like commenting on how the intern group movements are really sharp. And Baku's like, the bats are caught on to something out there. Hey, spit it out! The hell did you learn? Deku's there. Sorry, can't. Kirishima points out because Deku explains in the narration that they are completely forbidden from speaking about the internships. And not only Kirishima, Uraka, Chuyu, and him, but everyone that was included in the plan cannot speak of it or anything like that. We flash back to Eraser kind of continuing to talk, but apparently, even though he does kind of want them out of this, like aside from the big three whose abilities are equivalent to or even exceed a pro's, he expects the other four's roles to be fairly small. And for Asui, Uraraka, and Kirishima, since they aren't even necessarily there of their own free will, he gives them the choice. But all three of them are pretty much in on this. Like Uraraka's like, after hearing that kind of story, you can't tell me I can't go. If you're not going to say I can't, Eraser, I would like to be allowed to be assist. We can't let those who let a small girl get away with it. So that's Tsuyu's response. And Amajika's like, seeing as they've already let them participate in the meeting, I think the heroes have already recognized the freshman's abilities. Actually, in comparison to someone like me, these freshmen are considerably more brilliant. Any opportunity to put yourself down, huh, Amajiki? That's just, hey girl. Just kind of like, you just like to put yourself down, huh, buddy? Kirishima was declaring that if his strength will help Takeda even a little, he'll do it. Eraser doesn't seem surprised. I just want to confirm your convictions. As long as you understand, that's fine. This time, our goal is ultimately the liberation and protection of the child Eri. Don't overstep that boundary. Our greatest concern is the shadow of the Villain Alliance, or League of Villains. Sorry, I'm using the Jamidi's box translation. They use Villain Alliance. Anyway, from the police's observations, as well as those from Night Eye and his staff, they don't seem to have a particularly cooperative relationship. Judging by their recent search of the premises, it looks like the possibility of them being in the same place is low. However, in the worst case scenario, if they were off the mark and the League is also present and we can't complete our objective, you'll stop right there. Everyone declares that it's understood. Everyone else is in a high spirit because thinking about the chance that they'll actually get to save Eri at some point. Though Deku is not, because things are still weighing heavily on him as if I was in another body. Because he had no way to really ask Night Eye about All Might. And since the interns are forbidden from speaking, he can't consult with All Might directly, and he can't talk to Kirishima and the others. And Eri and All Might's plights are both just too heavy for him to handle. Right, so he decides I just face Eri's rescue and give it my all. But at that time, his heart was already on the edge. But Todoroki and Ida are there. It's like, not gonna eat. Like, I'll eat. It's like Ida's wondering if he's okay. Like Todoroki's like, you've been looking kind of down since you started the internship. Really? Ida, however, comes back to, if you need someone to talk to, you can always talk to us. We're friends, after all. Those are the words you told me when I was being a fool all those months ago. Remember? Before the workplace experience? And this actually gets Deku, like, upset, like, actually, like, crying. But it's like, are you okay? Like, I'm okay. It's nothing. And he's glad for Ida, even though he can't actually talk about it directly. Like, heroes don't cry, he declared while he's trying to eat more food. Like, but Todoroki's like, no, heroes also have times when they cry, maybe. And they all start like piling their food onto him just to kind of like offer him this his good comfort they can. Meanwhile, that same day in the vicinity of a facility associated with the Hasaikai, we see Locke and Loeb kind of leaping the rooftops. The place that could be their new stronghold, huh? He sees a big old building and looks up at it. And then we have everybody together investigating. And 2 days later, late that night, the 4 interns get a message that, you got it? Yeah. The day we carry out the plan. Apparently the big 3 have also gotten it too. Razorhead's kind of getting his message. And we also see like Nejire is like, she's still kind of tired because it's late at night. But like, let's give it our best shot. And then the big reveal is she's at home. What's with that? You saying our investigations were a waste of time? No, we did receive new intelligence from them. How did you confirm it? A few days ago, a member of the Hasaikai purchased a toy aimed at young girls at a nearby department store. The hell's that? Of course, Fat Gum points out the obvious problem here. Like, what if he's just some schlub who's into that kind of thing? It's a big world out there, Night Eye. And what did you buy one? And Night Eye points out that he confirmed he wasn't merely a man pursuing a personal hobby. And the way he was talking removed all doubt on that. Such as, for example, like, he was getting the name of the thing wrong, which a hobbyist would not do. See? And then, but Night Eye, like, we see in flashback that Night Eye is like, well, here, there's one here, sir. Like, he gives him, like, the toy he's apparently looking for. Like, I, too, am a fan. But while he's doing that, he's also, like, using his foresight on him and seeing the... And from there, he actually confirms that he's with Eri. When and where he'll be with Eri. Like, this gets Locke and Loeb upset because, like, wait, you are going to use protection? Yes, as I recall telling you the other day, it's to make an already sure course of action double sure. Like, Falcons declared, like, with this, it's all settled now, right? Thanks to our stakeout, we were right in the money regarding the time frame that scoundrel resides at home. And Grant Turner points out that they've got a warrant to boot, and all that's left is actually doing it. Like, and Mirio's really like fired up, like, all right, Midoriya, let's do this. He's just like swinging his arms all over the place, like, Dick is like, my God, those moves. Like, and we see Mirio's kind of back to his old self. Like, we also get a little bit of Night Eye, which I don't know if it's him talking to Mirio or just him thinking to it himself, but. He's thinking, Mirio, if you hadn't restrained Midoriya, I might not have been able to lay out the perfect framework. Any other one alive will have their share of failures and regrets. What's important is what one does afterwards. As for whether we can change the future, I don't know. But we can change the past. That is, we can change how we interpret the past, how we look at it. Show us the way, Mirio. You are the man who can. This time, we won't fail. And we see Mirio and Deku both getting suited up. At the building, like, we see our heroes, like, just all lined up and ready to go in. Inside, we see Overhaul, like, and this is one of the things where it's a little hard to tell just what's intended, so I'm gonna make sure I make a note of this when the actual chapter comes out in English, because in one translation, let's see here, yeah, okay. In one translation, Overhaul, like, is in his building, and he kind of looks behind him like, oh, so you've come. While the other one is like, so they've come. So it's kind of this of who's referring to what here. Either way, that is where the chapter ends. Alright, so thoughts on the chapter. So for me, the highlight of the chapter has got to be the part in the middle where Ida and Todoroki are giving Deku their support. Like, even though they can't actually, Deku can't actually talk about it, at least he knows they've got his back. And it's kind of funny that their way of comforting him is like giving him as much of their food as they can. It's like there's a silly little thing, but it's like, oh, nice. It's kind of funny seeing everybody get their late night messages, like, wow, what's going on with this? Like, even Eraserhead and the Big Three. I also like the fact that one, while they find Eri because of the fact that the guy was buying little girls' toys. I think the one, Fat Gum points out the fact that he could just be the academia equivalent of a brony. And two, Night Eye apparently got one himself. What would be funnier is if it actually happened because Night Eye was actually a fan, but I'm probably calling that unlikely since he's strictly a one-person fanboy with All Might. But yeah, like I said, and then we got the foresight to kind of that confirm from where they would be. Plot-wise, I'm gonna say this right now: the League of Villains will be there. There has been too much talk of them possibly being there, for them not to be there. And there's just no way that's not happening, and it'll probably come to a point where they can't just back out of the plan. It'll be after they hit some kind of point of no return, probably. I also like Uraraka, Tsuyu, and Kirishima are pretty much like unanimously like, oh yeah, we are definitely in after hearing all this. We are not backing out of this. And apparently we've got some more information on where they could be. Like we got that tall building that Lockenlobe was looking at as a place where they could have a headquarters of some kind. Which will probably be intelligence for a later date. But for now, we got this. And the big question for me right now at the end of all that is, who is Overhaul speaking to or about at the end of that? It's like, is it so they've come in reference to the heroes? So they've come in reference to the League of Villains? So you've come in reference to either? I mean, it could really go either any which way on that. It's hard to say which one we're looking at. But I guess that'll be a question for next week. So I'm going to go ahead and call this review here. Again, that's been My Hero Academia, chapter 137. Titled in one place as Head Them Off. Titled elsewhere as Prevent It. Until next time, see you later and bye-bye.